What's up guys, my name's Robert, welcome back to the vlog. Today is the last day to get entered in the March YouTube giveaway. If you're not already entered, stay to the end of this video. I'm going to explain how you can get double entries so you can win a free luxury exotic car rental or $1,000 cash or an MPH Club goodie bag full of exclusive merch. See you at the end of the video. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a few guests coming. Let's check in with Lee really quick. He actually knows the details of what's going on today. What you got there?
I am ready for today. I'm actually pretty excited. Roman's coming to check out a couple of watches. He actually asked me to bring some of the watches on a very short notice, like a couple hours ago. Right before I was walking out the house, he's like, hey bro, bring some watches. I'm like, I don't have one with me, but here, I brought some.
Lee's watch collection is insane. His last minute collection that he brings, it's just ridiculous.
So we'll talk some watches and cars. This is original, this is mine.
This wasn't your car?
This was in my car, yeah. I bought a brand new Ferrari California T. Like the third client who rented the car. He took his wife out to dinner in the sunny Isles, and he calls me like at 10 o'clock at night and he goes, hey bro, something's wrong with the car. The car's not turning on, it's not working. I pull up to his place and the car is sitting in a parking lot around all water. Every time I tell that story to somebody, my stomach just turns around and I remember that feeling that day that I went there and saw the California T, 3-4 feet of water, and I'm walking in there and waiting for the tow truck to come and pick up the car. I felt some sort of way that time. This is like 10 years ago when I first started. I was emotional with the car. I don't get emotional anymore. He goes, I can replace the whole engine for you, it's on the warranty. 2 months later, he calls me, hey, car's ready. I took it back, all good. He calls me a week later, he's like, hey, what do you want to do with the old engine? Bro, I immediately, before he changed his mind, I ran over there. I got a cease and desist letter from Ferrari. They threatened to sue me if I don't hand over the engine that I paid for. That engine cost about $45,000. That was my first time dealing with Ferrari, not my last. $45,000 for just the engine itself, $25,000 to make it a table, and 6 months of this custom crazy job, and I'm like, I got myself into, bro. This is not my job. I'm not an artist.
Listen, but you know what? It's a conversation piece. Yeah. So there's a huge similarity between watches and cars, and one of the things I always talk to people about is a watch is not an investment.
He has his own YouTube channel and his own show called Gray Market. It's so cool. It's like a reality TV show styled vlog about his life and his business, Luxury Bazaar. We can link to that down below. He was actually a speaker on the panel at BTC Miami when we went to the Bitcoin conference. That vlog we can also link down below.
Now, you're a big watch guy. I know some of your collection. We had a conversation back at the Bitcoin convention where you put forth a formula how a car can become an investment. I'm in Miami 5 to 10 times a year. I have a second home here. Don't really need a car. But let's say I did want to have a fancy car down there because where I'm from, I get 3 months to drive it. Right now it's 3 inches of snow and a snowstorm back home. So I park one down here and I park it with MPH. What happens?
I'm going back to the Urus because that's a really good example. Or a G-Wagon, same thing. If you're able to get a G-Wagon at sticker, which is
good luck today. What are they, like 50 to 100 over listed?
Almost 100 grand over sticker. It's insane. A G63 is about 100 grand over sticker. So let's say a Urus, which is more realistic, you're able to order those cars and you can wait a year, sometimes a year and a half, and get the vehicle at sticker at $250,000. You're safe in that car. You can rent it for a year and then still sell it for a little bit of a profit and keep the revenue for renting it and enjoy the vehicle. You know, when I first started this business, I wanted to just enjoy these cars and rent them out sometimes so I could offset my expenses. I was praying to have a free car at the end of the year. Now I turn this to a business and becoming a profitable one. I make sure that I only accept cars that I need. I will never want to borrow your car and park it here and it doesn't move.
The Pathfinder, how does that rent out?
That will move to go give me some lunch or something. That's about it.
Okay. Well, listen, your marketing game is on point. I mean, you guys do tremendous content. I mean, you're surrounded by private jets and fancy cars. What about watches? Anybody ever ask you to rent a watch?
I became very friendly with a lot of these artists who shoot music videos. We always bring them 5-6 cars for the music video, and I'm always wearing a nice watch. But I never had a client who would say, hey, I'll pay you to rent the watch, and it's a little scary. I cannot just put a $500,000 watch on your wrist and say, hopefully you come back.
It really becomes a question of what kind of a crazy insurance company can you get. And I don't know prices, I'm going to throw it out. To pay $1,000, $2,000 a day for a car is reasonable to anybody, considering what you're driving, right?
Yesterday's price
is not today's price.
I have 5 Aventadors in our fleet. 5. Every single one of them in the past 30 days have skyrocketed about 100 grand more than what they were worth yesterday.
For a watch, I feel like it's all different. And then investment up front can also be scary. And the reason for that is because with a car, you expect the car to gradually, let's say, depreciate over time. With a watch, sometimes it's like this, right? Today it's popular, tomorrow it's not. Look, we're living in the flex culture world, right? And flex culture is catching on to the watch culture. You got young kids here, they're out here making money and they want to flex. Let's talk about your watches. You bring some.
I brought some watches, yeah.
All right, so let's start with
that little case right there. So on a short notice, I was literally walking out of the house. Didn't want to bring all of them, obviously. I'm a little scared walking around with these watches, to be honest.
So this guy has great taste, as you can imagine. Here, I'm not gonna start with the obvious. I'm gonna start with the Code 1159, which is like, it was the watch when it first came out, was the most hated. Today, they finally caught up to where they're selling at list and even some of them are selling overlist, which is, if you think about it, if you want to have an option from AP outside of Royal Oaks, the only other options they had prior to that is you had your Jules Audemars, your Edward Piguet, your Milliners. Those things weren't popular. I think this is the first watch that's a non-Royal Oak that's finally going to make it, and it's going to make it in a big way.
I love that watch. It is so comfortable, so beautiful.
Obviously the Sky Dweller. Now the Sky Dweller, for the first time ever, the Sky Dweller is the one watch they finally started trading over list right out of the gate outside of the Daytona. Today it's kind of an irrelevant conversation, but in the normal market there was never a single Rolex out there outside of the Daytona that traded over list. And when this came out, I said it right away. I said, this is going to be the one watch that's finally going to catch on to the Daytona, and it's going to continually sell over list. I like this dial. I also like the chocolate dial. The one that's a sleeper today is this, but in white gold. You can still pick them up relatively cheap, and they're still climbing. I think this is one of the pieces that I would probably say that even propelled the Nautilus hype even further out.
Yeah.
Because this was the one watch when they first came out that started trading at triple its retail value right out of the gate. And when this came out, somebody out there said, you know what, it's a 450 watch. I don't give a shit. And it propelled all the other ones, which is absolutely insane. You probably gave your dealer a card if you get this, or your left kidney, one or the other. That's what you would probably have to do in today's market. Either give them a Lambo or your left kidney to get this thing. And rightfully so. It's a beautiful watch. It's iconic. Designed by Gerald Death in 1973. I mean, I'm a big fan of Genta because it designed both the Royal Oak and the 5990. So to me, this is end of discussion, as we like to call it. Offshores, right? So offshores, it's a funny thing. 05 to 2012. 2015, I'll say. The offshore was the leader for me. Everybody wanted an offshore. Then the offshore kind of died down, and the reason for that is because people started going a little bit smaller. The trend of going bigger kind of died out. Now what they're doing with the newer pieces, they're scaling down to 43 millimeters. They have the interchangeable band, so the offshore is slowly starting to come back, and rightfully so because the brand itself is just on fire. Mille Miglia. People are gonna say, what the hell is he doing with a show part? Well, this is not just a show part. He's a car guy. Right? So a show part is synonymous with Mille Miglia, which is the big race in Italy.
Also, this is a little story behind this one. This is my first watch.
You know what? As a car guy, to have a Mille Miglia as your first watch, I think is amazing. Look, it's a nice large size. Something that's never going to break the bank. I mean, to you, it's pricey. The Mille Miglia, I mean, there's so much history behind Mille Miglia and cars.
Are you familiar with Walden?
I am familiar with Walden.
Okay.
When did you buy this?
So I didn't buy it. I got a gift it. Walden is a good friend of mine, Andrew Walden. He became a client, and then we became really friendly. He talked watches, obviously, and got into it. And then one day he just gave me the watch.
One of the things I talk to people about all the time is you buy what you like, you wear what you like, but most of all, when watches have a different value other than money value, that's when it becomes a win-win. Speaking of watches, I'm an AP guy. Always have been, always will be. It's my #1 favorite brand. I don't think I'll ever have a brand that will sway me in a different direction. People always ask me, how do you do this? You're around watches all the time. Do you not get tired of them? No, because I'm a watch connoisseur first. But sometimes I have to be honest. It's like, oh, another AP, another Patek, and I don't know. Because we have such a volume of that stuff coming in on a daily basis that sometimes I won't put on a watch. Very rarely, but I won't. How do you not get tired of cars, or what's your favorite car?
I order cars specifically for my taste, my needs, and I enjoy speccing them out. I don't get cheap with them. I put full carbon fiber. I put a lot of money into it. High window stickers, because at the end of the day, these are all profitable vehicles for me no matter what. So I might as well not get cheap with. The cars are easy to build, and it's a fun part. It's my favorite part of the business. But when it comes to my favorite car,
Ever since he got his G-Wagon, I feel like that's his favorite car.
then month after month, the G-Wagon is my favorite car.
See?
I enjoy them all, don't get me wrong. But the G63 has been like my daily.
So for me, when it comes to watches, I'm like you. I can build a watch just the same. If I had the opportunity, I could spec out a watch if they let me, right? I always looked at cars as a head turner, especially, high-end cars. And at the end of the day, are you the guy that wants to park his Ferrari in front of a club and be seen walking out of it? Or are you the guy that wants to have it in the back of the garage, right? I would be the guy to park it in front of the club. And I'm being honest, same thing with watches. I was 20 when I bought my first Rolex. My Rolex walked into a club 10 minutes before I did. So, hey, how are you? You know what I mean? It's the same thing with these cars, especially here in Miami. Everybody loves to flex things.
So when we have a little lunch break and we get a little bored, Robert takes us around to grab some lunch, and then he puts on my favorite song, and we bounce on the way there.
This has happened quite a few times, actually.
What's your favorite song?
It's called Off-Road Assist. So yeah, it's made for like Dubai when people go into the desert and they do those desert safaris. If they get stuck, they can bounce their way out of the sand.
Yeah, in Miami you just bounce.
100% people rent that for the bouncing.
You can bounce down South Beach in this thing.
Alright, brother, I really appreciate you coming by. Love talking about watches and cars. Anytime you're in Miami, make sure you stop by here moving
I
forward,
appreciate it. Thank you so much. I mean,
Definitely.
I had definitely had a blast here. It was a pleasure meeting you guys.
Likewise.
And I mean, you got a lot of cool toys. I thought I had some cool toys, but I'm excited.
We'll share some toys later on.
Exactly, I love it. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, brother.
Okay guys, thank you for staying to the end of the video. Here is your opportunity to get double entries for the March YouTube giveaway. Again, today is the last day to get entered, so if you want to get double entries to win a free luxury exotic car rental, $1,000 cash, or an PHL goodie bag full of exclusive merch, comment the word last day. Put that in the comments of the giveaway video, which we're linking to down below in the description. You can get double entries to win any of the prizes I mentioned just a second ago. Let us know if you like this new recent style of vlogging where we do cutaways and show a little bit of behind the scenes. If you like that, let me know in the comments, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
That's what you would probably have to do in today's market. Either give them a Lambo or your left kidney to get this thing.
Unfortunately, it was my left kidney. It was not a car.